Welcome to Everyday Linux User. Today I'm going to show you a command that you shouldn't run on your PC. So the command I'm going to run is called a Linux fork bomb. And the reason I'm showing you this is a lot of people, when they're looking for answers to problems, will go to forums, they'll go to Facebook groups, they will go onto Reddit, and the problem is there are some malicious people out there, and they'll tell you to run commands on your PC that are just not what you should be running at all, and they're destructive. And one of them is the Linux fork bomb. So if I search for Linux fork bomb, the very first link is a good one, and this is the command that they'll tell you to run. And I'm going to run this command on my PC to show you exactly how destructive it is. I'm not actually sure if it is that destructive anymore. I'm not sure if modern Linux distributions will guard against it, but I'm going to show you the command, and I'm going to show you how it works and why it's destructive, and explain what it's actually doing so that you don't fall into the trap of running this on your system. So we'll open a command prompt, and you can see I've already got a script called forkbomb.sh. So if I nano into that, it's got the command listed. Now, to novice users, this is quite a confusing command. You might have no idea what it's doing. It's just a load of symbols, one after the other. So the first the first bit there is basically declaring a function. So we could easily have a function called lsfind, for instance. And that bit is basically saying, create me a function called this, and the bracket, anything in the brackets is parameters that you're going to pass in. Okay, so the next bit, the two curly brackets define what's going to happen when somebody runs that function. Now in this case, it's going to run a function called colon, which is itself. So we could, in my function, call ls, which lists does a directory listing. The pipe symbol outputs the contents of the results of this function when it's run, ls, and it passes it to another function. So we could say grep $1. So in this case up here, the colon is going to output its function to another function called colon. So it's basically going to create a new process called itself. And the ampersand is going to run it as a background task so that you don't see it happening. So what's going to happen is it's going to call the colon function, and it's going to say, and colon function, as we know, calls colon and passes it to another background process called colon. And so what it's going to do is run this same function over and over and over and create more and more processes on your computer until you have no processes left. So to finish a function, you use a semicolon. And if you're wondering what this colon at the end here is, it's the equivalent of me saying lsfind fork. So my function that I've created, lsfind, all it's going to do is do a directory listing and find all files in that folder that have the word that I pass in. So lsfind fork will find all files in my folder that have the word fork in it, which would be fork bomb in my case. So actually, my function is actually quite simple to read, but that function up there is doing a very similar thing. It's got a function called colon, and all that function is doing is calling colon and outputting the results to colon, and it's running that function as a background process. And obviously, the last colon is to initiate the whole thing to start in the first place. So that's all that function's doing. It looks confusing, and the person that came up with it probably thought, "Hey, I'm really cool for doing this." And the people that spread this sort of content around probably think they're being funny, or they might just be malicious. But obviously, if you can get somebody to do this on a web server or on an application server or file server or something like that, you can take that server down. So it's also malicious from a business point of view if you can get somebody to run it on a business server. So never run it on your PC. If you ever come across this line of code on your PC, ignore it. There's no reason to run it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run it. So I'm not going to save it. I'm not going to actually run it as part of the script. I'm just going to run it straight here in the terminal. So I'm running a program called HTOP, and as you can see, I've got only 4 gig of RAM on this computer, and I'm using currently 961 meg. And these are the list of the processes running on my computer. And when I run the command, this memory is going to go up and up and up. Let's do it. So colon, bracket, bracket, open bracket, colon, pipe, colon, ampersand, close bracket, and run. Are you ready? Let's run the command. So I'm recording the next bit on my phone because my actual computer has ground to a halt instantly. You can see it's completely struggling and it's actually dying. I didn't even get to see the process count go up. It is completely and utterly dead. So you saw there how quickly my computer ground to a halt. I didn't even get to see the processes go up and up and up. It just died really quickly. And to make sure that that wasn't just a glitch, I'm going to run it again. So colon, there's our command. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. It has died already. I've already lost complete control of the computer. The mouse is really slow. That's how quickly a 4 gigabyte system goes down running this fork bomb. It is completely and utterly tanked. There's nothing I can do. It's over. Fortunately, all I have to do is turn off the PC and turn it back on again. Last time I did this, Manjaro itself went back to the login menu. So I'm going to see if that does it again. But worst case scenario, I'd just turn it off by holding the power button in. So the first time I ran the command, the computer crashed, but Manjaro managed to recover itself to the point I got in back to the login screen. The second time I ran it, it just died completely. And the amazing part is how quickly it does it. And it must be spawning those processes off so quickly that you have no chance of recovering after that command is run. So if anyone ever tells you run this command, don't, unless you want to see your PC crash. And that's the end of the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button for more content from Everyday Linux User. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.